started.
Okay, thank you. Good morning to everyone. If everyone can still hear me, I believe you can. Let me say before, and I discussed this with Robert before we get started. I have some serious issues going on in my family with a couple folks that uh, I may have to leave, and I'll turn it over to Malcolm. Um, we've scheduled a Zoom session for one of my family members that's in very critical condition and may not make it. His daughter is already scheduled to be funeralized on Monday, and now the father is in critical condition and not expecting to make it. So, and I just asked for your prayers and asked that you excuse me if necessary, if I have to duck out. And I'll just turn it over to Malcolm if that's the case. But I think it may be after this meeting because we weren't given a specific time, but I don't know just yet. So again, this morning, I want to welcome everyone to our Economic Development Authority meeting. Also, as well, I have seen, and I see that Vice Mayor Bonds is on the call, and Councilman Battle said he would be here. I guess he'll be here shortly. But I'll begin as usual with reading the governor's declaration. In accordance with Governor Ralph Northam's declaration of a state of emergency due to novel coronavirus, Executive Order 51 on March 12th, 2020, and the local declaration of emergency ratified by the Portsmouth City Council, and due to the corona pandemic, which is continuing in the Commonwealth of Virginia, this meeting of the Portsmouth Economic Development Authority is being held by video conference on the 19th day of January 2021 without a quorum present in the 6th floor conference room in the City Hall in order to reduce the likely spread of the coronavirus. Each EDA member is participating from his home. This meeting is being held in accordance with Portsmouth City Ordinance 2020-102. Notice of public access and participation to this electronic meeting was posted on the EDA and city websites, and comments to the board about this meeting were received by EDA staff via the PORT ECO at portsmouthva.gov email address. And that I will also take this opportunity to explain to the Vice Mayor, and maybe we may have to do it when Councilman Battle is on, but the way we normally operate as chairman, and to expedite things and to make sure that we move along expeditiously, I normally turn the agenda portion over to the director, Robert Moore, and he goes through our agenda. He is the official secretary of the EDA, so it's quite in order to have him take us through the agenda without us jumping back and forth from me to him. So, and then when necessary, I will intervene when that's necessary. So just so our liaisons will understand, how we conduct business. Thank you and welcome. At this point, I'll call on our secretary, Robert Moore, to roll call.
Thank you, Chair. Before we get started, wanted to again say welcome to our new liaisons. as you stated, Councilman Paul Battle is not currently on the call with us, but we do have with us Vice Mayor DeAndre Barnes. Didn't know if Vice Mayor Barnes wanted to say anything this morning. Wanted to give you that opportunity.
I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity. Looking forward to learning a lot from you all. I appreciate your service, and again, just thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. From a roll call standpoint, we'll start with Mr. Barber.
I'm here.
Ms. Drury.
Here.
Mr. Kavachi. Mr. Mitchell.
Here.
Mrs. Saunders Smith.
Here.
Mrs. Barbara Smith.
Here.
And Chairman Smith.
Here.
Thank you, sir. We do have a quorum. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the December 15th, 2020 meeting. You all should have received those minutes in your packet. We would just need a motion and a second, and then a discussion if necessary.
Mr. Moore, I move that we adopt the agenda as printed.
Second.
You mean the minutes, right?
I mean the minutes as printed.
Thank you, Ms. Saunders Smith, and seconded by Mr. Barber. Any discussion of the motion? All right, hearing none. Mr. Barber.
Aye.
Ms. Drury.
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Mrs. Saunders Smith.
Yes.
Ms. Barbara Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries. The next item on the agenda will be our financial update, and I do believe we have Ms. Patty Phillips from our finance department on the line, and I will turn it over to her.
Hello, can everyone see me? Can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try to share my webcam more. It told me I couldn't do it, unable. Well, as long as you can hear me, I will continue. In your packet, you had a statement of net position, which is basically the balance sheet, and you also had unaudited statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position. I'm just going to do a very, very high-level review. I think we talked last meeting about doing more in-depth reviews each on the quarter, which would be next time. But that being said, we have cash of $926,315. We are owed some lease income. We have property held for resale of 21.6 million. We owe a regular accounts payable of 99,007. We owe a revenue note, 5,217,000, and we owe a loan on acquired a few months ago, of which we collect rent, $1,743,544, and we owe the city of Portsmouth $137,900. You'll see that the unrestricted net position is 15.5 million. So basically, your net position is the land you hold for resale. So just keep that in mind. Turning to the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position. Rental income, 81,742. We've got our regular operating expenses of 120,864. We've paid out some local development grants of $20,074. We've paid some interest of $21,075, and we've made contributions of $3,128,966. So, counting transfers to the city, the change in net position is $3,042,000 decrease. So if there's any questions, let me know.
questions from the commissioners? All right, thank you, Ms. Phillips. We typically, again, as you all know, and for the Vice Mayor's information, we do normally send those to audit and just file those away. And then they will be reviewed again at the end of the year as we prepare the audit. Chair, if there are no other questions, we'll move forward in the agenda.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Under old business, you all recall each time around this, each year about this time, you all are, I think last year actually was the first year that this was done, but the Statement of Economic Interest Certification form is due again February 1st. That is due to Ms. Deborah White by February 1st. I do have to remind you that if we are not compliant and you do not turn that form in, including myself, there is a $250 fine. So we need to get those in, and then that is also a finding on our audit statements at the end of the year. So we want to make sure we are in compliance. Should you have any questions, certainly call the office or call Ms. Deborah White to obtain those forms if you have not already. Any questions? All right. If there are no further questions in chair, we will go to new business. This morning, we have one item for new business, and that is an update regarding the casino and the entertainment district. Just again, to kind of bring everyone up to speed, we are kind of on two paths, if you will. We're on the legislative path through the state with regards to the licensure and meeting those requirements, but then we are also on the path of moving forward from a development side. And as you recall, there have been certain actions taken by council last year, including the rezoning of the property, text amendments to allow for the casino as casino gaming as well as the entertainment district. We are still moving forward in the process with regards to ultimately a master plan for the development as well as a use permit with regards to the casino operation. Later this year, probably over the next couple meetings, you all will have an update, a full update from the development team from Rush Street, and they'll be here to answer all your questions with regards to what the development will look like, how the process is going, things of that nature. But we did want this morning to introduce you to two individuals that you will see throughout the city going forward, and that will certainly be the new PR firm that was selected by Rush Street, which is the Miles Agency, which is headed up by Delcino Miles. She is and I always mess up her title here, but she is the Community and Public Relations Lead for Rush Street. And then also Mr. Brett Schweiker. He is the Director for Public Affairs and Government Relations. We have those individuals on the line with us this morning, as you can see, Mr. Schweiker and Ms. Miles. But this morning, just wanted to allow them to do a brief introduction, again, so you can see the name with the face as they go throughout the community, making sure that everyone understands the project that is going forward. Again, this morning is just an introduction. You can anticipate Rush Street coming back in a future meeting to provide a full update on the project. But with that, love to have an opportunity for Mr. Schweiker and Ms. Miles to speak. Mr. Schweiker. I think you're on mute.
Mr. Moore, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, because it's showing that I'm muted, but I wanted to make sure. While Brett is getting his audio ready, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Delcino Miles. I'm based here locally, President and CEO of the Miles Agency. We've done quite a bit of business over our 32 years in business with the city of Portsmouth and with the region, native of the area, and looking forward to working more closely with you. My official date was December 1st, and we've already started making contact with stakeholders and community leaders and influencers, grassroots leaders, And please, and Mr. Moore has my contact information. So if you have organizations you like for us to come in and conduct a briefing and address questions, be happy to do that. That's what I'm here for. So whether it's a civic league or sorority or your place of worship, be happy to go in and introduce myself and address your questions. Very early stages now, but looking forward to this opportunity. Vice Mayor Barnes, thank you for your helpful insights. Enjoyed speaking with you and listening to your ideas. And so that's what I'm here for, is to listen to you and at the same time to share with you updates on where we are. Brett will go into those logistics where we are so far in terms of getting those licenses so we can start planning for groundbreakings and all of that, and the job fairs. And we know Portsmouth First is the residents. We're Portsmouth neighbors, understanding it's a regional asset, but we know that we want to make sure that the city of Portsmouth benefits from this transformational project. So I'm here for community engagement, public relations, and to represent Rush Street Gaming in this project. So I appreciate this opportunity to share with you this morning. And again, I'm here to make sure that any questions you have can be answered, and to connect you with. We have a website that's up, that's live, and we're just looking forward to this new venture together. So this is a great opportunity and transformational project for Portsmouth and for the 757 region. I'll turn it over to Brett. Still no audio.
Yeah, Brett, still no audio.
So Brett was the representative here during the referendum. So many of you may have met him. So he is the director of government affairs, and so he works very closely with the Senator Lucas, and many of you and the elected officials, and so he was instrumental in marshaling support, if you will, to have the success on election day for the referendum. And so he is still continuing to work with the senator and other stakeholders to monitor where the lottery is. The lottery is the one that will make the decision about the getting the license, so we can have permission to start the construction and start getting the shovel in the ground. So that's what we're waiting for. So it's new to Virginia, it's new to the lottery, so we're being patient with them. But that's the deeper dive, to just do their research and their homework too. And as you know, all 4 referendum passed, so I'm sure that they're under siege right now, trying to get things moving, because this is an important economic development project, and so we want to get it moving sooner than later. So where it is now, the lottery is going to be asking for information from Rush Street just to do that due diligence.
Hey, Delcino, I'm on now. Yeah,
Okay.
commissioners, I'm sorry. That was frustrating. I'm not sure why my audio wasn't working. The dial here on the right said I was connected and that it was registering sound. So I'm not quite sure what the issues were. But be that as it may, this is first of all, actually, before I get into what I wanted to just quickly say, Chairman Smith, obviously we're going to be taking a view in your family here as we go forward, and only my best to you, sir. Obviously, this is my second time meeting you and being before the EDA, and I had the privilege of giving an update on the campaign this past summer in my capacity as Director of Public Affairs and Government Relations, and I really enjoyed that conversation. But back here today to just let you all know that we've hired Delcino as our first local hire, and as she indicated, is going to be leading our community engagement and public relations. Not just in Hampton Roads and Portsmouth, but throughout the state. And being our very first hire, obviously we were impressed and excited with her, her breadth of experience and work ethic, and certainly her relationships, which I think are going to be important as we go forward. So she's going to be a strong asset, and we're very excited about it, and wanted you all to be aware of that here as soon as possible. But I would just also say, obviously since we last spoke, we're pretty excited that we won with such a large margin, 66.7%. I think that's in the mandate business, and we're very, very happy and proud of that. And couldn't be more excited to, finally be part of the community. So obviously, as Robert also indicated, we're going to be working with the city and the lottery board over the next few months, and we'll report back more formally soon. So again, thanks so much, and Robert, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Mr. Miles. Again, just wanted to make sure that you all could put a name or some names to faces as you see them throughout the community. And again, at a later meeting, the development team from Rush Street will come by and have a discussion with you all about the actual process, where they are on the development side, and give you an in-depth report on the progress of the project.
Mr. Moore.
Yes, sir.
I think we should allow the commissioners an opportunity if they have any questions. I know I have a few at this time. We don't want to belabor up along, but if it's a question that they would like to ask, I would open the floor for them to do that at this time.
Certainly. Any questions by the commissioners?
Okay. Well, I see heads shaking. Let me ask a few things, and if something comes to you, after I finish, then you can still have that opportunity. Just let us know. To Brett, the question: are they still on?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
One of the concerns I have, I know, Brett, you've been, working with them quite a bit of time, and Ms. Miles is, just coming aboard, and so my question would be, have you or her entertained the thought of having some local Portsmouth persons involved with the same kind of expertise? Have y'all considered that? I know, Miss Miles is from Virginia Beach, and I know she has a very reputable firm, but and I'm not sure, she has the additional resources to bring others in, or will she be using her present staff? That's one.
I can answer that now, sir, if you like. Or
Yes.
did you want to answer? Yes, sir. It is my intention to, matter of fact, I have a post on LinkedIn now for a position specifically for this project with, and it's noted in that post that Portsmouth residents preferred. So I made that commitment to several folks that I've met with to hire support staff for this project from Portsmouth. And I've done that before on other projects where I've worked in Portsmouth, where I've hired, in this case, I hired for a different project, I hired young people, because I believe in sowing into the lives of young people that lived in Portsmouth that assisted me with previous projects. But with this, we're looking for a little more experience. So I've already had some folks reach out to me from Portsmouth that I'm considering to bring on board for the duration of this project. Yes, sir. So the answer is yes. Okay,
thank you. And Brett, also, could you enlighten everyone on, I've gotten a number of calls from contractors, business persons that are trying to submit, find the process for letting Rush Street know about, their qualifications, their expertise. And I understand from the director, Robert Moore, that y'all do have connection, a website where folks can actually go onto the website and apply, and it asks, and I've tried it actually, and I did get a notification back in about 2 days that it was received, and that they would be getting back, further. So could you explain that, you or Robert, Brett, if y'all want to inform the commissioners?
Sure, absolutely, my pleasure. So the email address, which is I think is what you're referring to, Chairman, and probably the quickest, most efficient way to get to us and to be in the mix on this. The email address is port.vendors@rushstreet.com. So again, that's port.vendors@rushstreet.com, and Rush Street is abbreviated, so it's RUSHST.com. And by doing that, you're right in the mix, and we monitor that as we go forward. So I would make that clear to the committee or to the commission.
Thank you very much. We're just concerned, that the public, is aware of the access, and also as far as just how that process is going to work. And the email that I got in return said that that they would be contacting the persons that were interested in providing a proposal or seeking to be hired for. These are contractors, and these were minority contractors. The two or three that I've talked to. So I did share with them that information.
Yes, sir. And we have had a ton of interest, not only on the part of vendors, but on the part of would-be job applicants and the like, and had a really positive reaction from people in Portsmouth and beyond. So it doesn't fall into a black hole, I can assure you, and everybody that emails that is seen and in the mix.
Thank you. Well, are there any other questions before we move on? And on an agenda note, Robert, I don't know, we had a couple agendas sent to us. One was taken back, but did we overlook 1021 and 1107 High Street in old business? Do I have the right?
You have that is the previous agenda. That item will be discussed in closed session.
Okay, all right. I've got both of them here, so I wasn't sure that I was on the right one, but okay, thank you. That clears that up.
I
Can I ask one question? Oh, sorry.
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Jordan.
Okay, I just had a quick question about the training. Have y'all started the process of working with TCC, talking with them about the education process? I mean, just because it is going to take a while to get them trained, especially on the gambling side.
Yes, ma'am, we have.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of our first orders of business after we won. Yes, ma'am, and I know that we have a number of relationships that we've built there in the months even before we won in terms of meeting folks and getting out. So the answer to that is an emphatic yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I serve on the TCC board, so rest assured, TCC will be heavily engaged, and also the Hampton Roads Workforce Council with Sean Avery and his team.
Mr. Mitchell, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, I was. If we could just shift over for a moment to community involvement. You guys have an outstanding track record in that area. My question is twofold. What is the process in which you select organizations that you're going to support? And the second question, is there a dollar amount for funding each year? And if there is, what is it based on?
We do not have that, and it's based on our relationships. It's based on kind of a culmination of our own involvement that I think that we're in other cities. There are a number of areas that I think we've supported in the past that I think we look to support when we go into a new area. But I would also say that in Pittsburgh, for instance, we have a vice president of community engagement and I think we would have a similar role. I don't know what the exact title would be, but sort of a similar role where their job is to go out and generate a lot of that and assess where our support is best needed. So, given you indicated our track record, and I can't imagine a scenario where we would come to Portsmouth without replicating that same rollout. So, we're going to continue what we've done in other cities, and also have folks on staff who will generate that. And again, it's not just them that go out and do the work and generate the relationships. They're more of, the tip of the spear that kind of set it up for everybody else, or team members and executives of the property who will also get involved in supporting and volunteering in the community.
Okay, thank you.
I have,
Who's that? Go ahead, Miss Saunders Smith.
yeah, I guess we have more basically of a comment. And I was thinking that maybe this would be done at the next meeting, but when Rush comes and give a formal overview. But I want to know whether or not we will have a phased-in process wherein that we will know as a board as to what phase they are in at different times, so that we can educate the population as well as small businesses as to what is going on and the opportunities thereof.
So, Brett,
well, actually, Robert, I would just want to. I appreciate that very much, ma'am. A lot of that has already begun, and I think that just this morning is also evidence of us keeping you apprised of each of our build out steps. And obviously, I was here in July, and our company, I think, has been as open and transparent and excited, and certainly more than willing to make everybody aware of what we're doing and what phase we're in and what the progress is. And I think that that's vitally important, given that you all have have folks in the community that look to you for guidance and information. So, look, that's my job as the Director of Public Affairs and Government Relations. So it's certainly not lost on me, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
Ms. Saunders Smith, just to add to that, each time that there is something that will go before any boards with regards to, for example, planning commission, city council, things of that nature, you all made aware of those things and a presentation done, again, so that you are fully engaged in the process, and certainly you know what the phases are and where we are in each step of that process. So our plan is to make sure that you all are updated as we go through the process. That first update will be very soon.
And let me add also to the commissioners, and I'm not sure if we've talked about this before, but and this also will address Mr. Mitchell's question. Neil Bloom and Greg Carlin are the chief owners of Rush Street Gaming. And Mr. Bloom has been here on a number of occasions, but Mr. Carlin made his visit back in December, and they both have indicated to us their involvement in some past experience in reaching out to the community to not only support the community, to give to the community, to do some things in the community. They both have toured the vicinity, including Cavalier Manor, Battlewee, and the areas around the sites. And Greg actually took off on his own and did some riding around himself before he left to go back to Illinois. So they are very much interested and in tune to getting involved and supporting and contributing to some community efforts, specifically, the Cavalier Manor area, which they both indicated that they would be interested in doing.
Yeah, I appreciate that as well. very true. And I know that Mr. Bloom, who's been a real estate developer going back decades, thinks that the site and the immediate area is a total home run. And if he didn't, I don't know that we would be as excited as we are. And it's going to be a real success. And I would just add that also going back to Mr. Mitchell's question, one thing I had left out before was, I think we've already supported two organizations that we felt had kind of distinguished themselves. The Children's Museum we supported back a couple of months ago, as well as the African American Historical Society, and we really love the relationships that we've built there. Obviously, had met May Breckenridge Haywood, and just couldn't be more delighted to set that relationship in motion. Because at the end of the day, this can't be kind of a drop in. Yes, we might be from Illinois, but I was there all throughout the summer and fall. Enjoy staying at the Renaissance. I know that area like the old town like the back of my hand now, and we will not be mere parachuters. So I wanted to communicate that to you folks as well, and love the community engagement we've already had.
Okay.
Any additional?
Thank you, everyone, for your questions and participating. So we are ready to, if there's not any other matters concerning the casino and update, Robert, we can move on.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
And thank you all for
Thank
being
you all.
here.
My best to you, Commissioner Smith, too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, sir. Chair, that is the last item of new business. We do have a need to go into closed session, and I believe Mr. Mitchell has received the motion for closed session.
Yes. I move to go into closed electronic meeting pursuant to Virginia Code subsection 2.2-3711, A.3, and 2.2-3708.2, A.3, and City Council Ordinance 2020-102 for the purpose of discussing the disposition of real property where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, specifically regarding 1021 High Street, 1107 High Street, 409 McLean Street, the 1100 block south of London Boulevard, and Crawford Bay, 2 Crawford Parkway, 8 Crawford Parkway, 2 Harbor Court, and 3 Harbor Court.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. We need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Any discussion of the motion? All right, hearing none. Mr. Barber?
Aye.
Ms. Drury?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Saunders Smith?
Yes.
Barbara Smith?
Yes.
And Chairman Smith?
Yes.
All right, we are in closed session, so I need you to, as always, to exit out of this and then go into the next link for closed session. Vice Mayor Barnes, if you are still on, the same thing, exit out of this meeting and then go to the closed session link.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Mitchell, if you can read us back into open session, please.
Okay. I hereby move that each commissioner certify that to the best of his or her knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting just concluded.
And I need a second.
Second.
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. All right, any discussion? Okay, Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Ms. Drury,
Aye.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mrs. Saunders Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Barbara Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes.
All right, we are in open session. The first matter is the extension for 409 McLean Street. I will need a motion and a second, and then a discussion.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. And a
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Any discussion of the motion? All right, Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Ms. Drury,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mrs. Saunders Smith,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries. The next item is the approval of the agreement and sale price for 0 London Boulevard. Need a motion and a second, and then discussion.
I so move.
Thank you, Ms. Drury.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Barber. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Ms. Drury,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mrs. Saunders Smith,
Yeah.
Mrs. Smith,
Yes.
and Chairman Smith.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Those are the only two items that we have coming out of closed session that needed a vote. Did want to remind you all of our next meeting, which is at, well, let me back up. We are going to add to the agenda. It's not on your agenda right now, but we will make sure going forward that there are items submitted by the commissioners. Much like council, there are items that you could bring to the commission as long as it's not something that we need to discuss in closed session, that we could discuss. Certainly, the need for a committee of some type, things of that nature can be discussed. Along those lines, Chair, I do need you to officially in open session appoint the committee that you were thinking of.
Yes, and we really didn't have the discussion about, what we wanted to call it. Ms. Saunders Smith, if you would help me with that. I'm going to appoint you and Ms. Teresa Saunders Smith and Ms. Kathy Drury to that committee to work along with staff. Could you reiterate that responsibility?
Yes, we're looking at having a committee that will look at some of the issues surrounding and bringing it to the commissioners as to what issues they are having with being able to get certified, or monetary issues they may have as it relates to being a vendor, a contractor in the city of Portsmouth.
Yes, and this is in reference to the minority participation in our development agreements.
Correct.
Chair, if I could make a suggestion, maybe you call this the business advisory committee, because it's not. There are going to be several things that this committee can probably deal with and handle going forward. Minority participation, minority contracting, workforce development, things of that nature. And they can advise how the businesses and the contractors are doing, and advise the EDA on such matters. Just a suggestion.
Very good. I'll take that since I was looking for that. So you two will be our business advisory ad hoc committee on behalf of the entire commission. And I hereby appoint you two to be that committee for us. Was there anything else we need to discuss?
Nope, just a reminder on staff side, is just a reminder that the next meeting is Tuesday, February 16th. We do have a full slate coming up, so certainly would like you all to be at that meeting. And this meeting will also be the start as we look. We will need the chair at that point to more than likely appoint a budget committee because soon after we will need to meet to discuss the budget going forward for the next fiscal year.
Well, the last budget committee was Mr. Kovacic and Mr. Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Well, I would ask Mr. Kovacic couldn't be with us, but we checked with him. I would ask you two to do it again for the upcoming year, if that's okay.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, and just to and we don't really need a long discussion about this, but to Ms. Drury's question about the Breton and the items that came before council, I think there was just a kind of a misunderstanding of the process, but I think the bottom line, council was seeking some more information, and they didn't quite remember that when you take that first vote, you kill it. But I think they understand now, and they're just looking for the reassurance that, a Breeden's track record, and that's what I gathered from it, from what happened. So, and there's no doubt that Breeden can provide that. They've been a partner for a long time and done numerous projects. So I'm confident that that'll go forward once council gets the information that they requested.
Yes, just as an update, staff is clear what the council is looking for, and we have been in touch with Breeden, and we are confident that they can pull together that information and get that information to City Council at their next meeting. Again, that item was voted down. However, council did agree to allow them to come to the second reading, move forward to a second reading so that it could pass. And we're confident that it will. I'm not speaking for council or anything, but we think that they will get the information necessary and presented to council on the 26th of January.
Okay. So any last thoughts or comments from commissioners?
Neil's been kind of quiet.
Unusual. Quiet is, in accordance with the chairman, as quiet as concurrence.
That's right. Robert's rule of order says that's fine. Agrees with everything.
And I have all confidence in everyone. I was kidding with you a little earlier when I talked about shy. You all know that better than I, that you aren't shy. But when you want to speak, when you need to speak, you're gonna speak up. So, and I appreciate y'all's cooperation and y'all's working with us to get a lot of things. We've gotten a lot of things accomplished since you've been up here, and there is no stop, no end to it. So I appreciate it, and to Robert and his staff, and again to Councilman Battle for being with us, and we look forward to working with him and Vice Mayor Barnes. And that being said, you all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
You as well, Chair, and our prayers are with you and your family.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.